Hello, my name is Johnny. Welcome to another World War II 172 scale video. Today we're going to look at this Tiger tank. If you'd like, please subscribe, hit that notification bell, like, reply, and share. This is another one of this newer type Dragon. We'll look at the model in a second. This is the packaging. Sits in that, and then the lid goes on, and then the whole thing fits in this plastic and then goes in this box. Late production. Color picture here. Not a big fan of this new packaging. I like the older packaging where you could see in and so forth. Let's take a look here. This came out 2023. This is April 25 when I'm filming this. Got this at the end of 2024. So there's the item number if you want to look that up. These are very expensive now. And they used to be, quote, die cast with a little plastic parts. And over time they switched to completely plastic. But look at the nice paint job on here, camouflage. And look at the unusual colors. That green with white outline on there for the 112 for its unit number. Look at the coloration. They do a nice job of keeping this pretty matte with a little bit of shine so it looks a little bit like metal. There's some unit identification on there. It's got Zimmerit coating, anti-magnetic mine coating on it. That's all that paste, those lines that you see on there. Very nice. They used that from about September 43 to September 44, and then they figured out that wasn't quite necessary because the Allies weren't using that many anti-magnetic mines, if at all, against the tanks. Unlike the Germans had one that they'd hold and clamp onto tanks, especially they had that using that on the Eastern Front. So they dropped this coating on the later ones. You can see the nice cables on here, the tools, a little bit of extra tack. They put the machine gun up there, and then in there is where they'd have the coaxial machine gun, and then there's the bow machine gun right down there. The bottom. This one still has the holes in it. I think some of the later ones don't, because they used to have the holes a little bit bigger and things in it would be screwed into the bottom of the plate, but they don't do it that way anymore. This just fits in there, and then in there, and then in there, like I said. This is how they painted the tracks. Sort of a brown with silver. And these are always clean looking. They're not meant to be weathered. You could, if you had really good skills with weathering, and if you wanted to alter the way it looked, you could feel free to do that, of course. Put this in a great looking diorama, or use it like I used to, and hopefully again in war games. You can see a little of the hook there, and then the jack right there. Very nice. You put some tank riders on here, and the turret will rotate completely, especially if you have it using two hands, and then the gun moves just a little bit. But overall, a very nice one. I'll leave a link into one of the other ones I just did in the past. I have a lot more to go, and a couple of other brands besides the Tiger, and I alternate these videos with reviews of model kits, and then showing how I've been working on the models, and then gotten a few more buildings and then so forth, and a lot of paint sets. So you'll see that in the most recent playlist of my 172. scale videos. Until next time, thanks for watching, everyone.